back with you on SportsCenter, getting ready for the Super Bowl.
Let's go.
Chiefs are the fourth team to ever appear in 3 consecutive Super Bowls, and they're 1-1 away from, of course, doing something never been done. A three-peat overall. They'd be just the 3rd team in NFL history to win 3 straight championships, joining the Packers from 29 to 31, and again from 65 to 67. On the scene with the Chiefs, our Michelle Steele.
It is all about blocking out outside noise, and there's been more noise than normal this postseason run. Call it Chiefs fatigue, with KC being in 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. Call it being portrayed as the villain by opposing players and coaches, stoking the fires around those officiating controversies. But as Andy Reid said, the Chiefs simply do not care about the narratives outside the building. Reid said he's not using that as motivation either, saying he just wants guys to dig into the plays and focus on keeping themselves physically fit for next Sunday. This team is used to, of course, minimizing those outside distractions during a championship run, and it was Patrick Mahomes who turned the page himself as soon as they won their last Super Bowl. He got his team locked in on a 3rd straight ring. It was just over 11 months ago at the Chiefs Super Bowl parade where Mahomes said, "We're going for that three-peat. Don't get it twisted. We're doing it 3 times. First time in NFL history, we're doing it." It's come full circle because he's close. Kevin?
Michelle, thank you so much. You know, Super Bowl 57 2 years ago, but in between these 2 Super Bowls, these 2 teams met on the field in the regular season Arrowhead, Week 11 of 2023. Chiefs jumping out to a 10-point lead, and you see the Travis Kelce touchdown. Then Kansas City was held scoreless in the second half. Jalen Hurts going in for multiple touchdowns to lead the Eagles to a 21-17 victory. On the scene in South Philly is reporter Sal Paolantonio, and he joins us now. Sal Pal, what's the latest on the Eagles' preparations for Super Bowl 59 now?
Kevin, people seem to forget that Monday night football game. It gets lost in all the conversation about the Chiefs and the Eagles. Glad you brought that up, because the Eagles have done a lot of self-scouting, intense self-scouting about Super Bowl 57, as well as that game on Monday night in Kansas City last year, to try to figure out how they can stop this three-peat. And it really comes down to this. What is the Eagles offense going to do to figure out Steve Spagnuolo and the Chiefs defense? This is the best defense that the Eagles will face all season. And the bottom line is that Spagnuolo is so good at dialing up those diabolical blitzes on 3rd and 4th down in critical situations to defeat the quarterback. You saw it last week against Josh Allen. It happened in Super Bowl 57. Today, here's QB1 and the #1 wide receiver talking about Steve Spagnuolo. Listen to this.
Well, he's been great. He's been great. Very high success rate in what they do. Great players, great defensive back group. Obviously, Chris Jones up front. And so it'll be a great challenge.
Stopping the run. They're really good in the back end and play hard. That's the reason why they're in this position, you know, year after year after year. And so we definitely got our hands full.
Kevin, I've been with this team since they went to Brazil in Week 1. Sao Paulo all the way to the Super Bowl. So this team right now, I would say if I was assessing their mood, there's a quiet confidence about this team, but they understand one thing, Kevin, unfinished business. They got to get it done in Super Bowl 59, try to prevent that three-peat of the Kansas City Chiefs.
And the biggest storyline with this offense, specifically with Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts, no turnovers. That has played a huge role in this postseason run. Sal Pal, thank you so much. Travis Kelce's already made his name as one of the greatest playoff performers all time ahead of this Super Bowl. How about this? He has the most playoff catches in NFL history and ranks 2nd in receiving yards and touchdowns, behind only the GOAT, that is the Hall of Famer Jerry Rice. A reminder, we're talking about a tight end, not a wide receiver with those numbers, and Kelce continues to post those big ones up each and every time when the spotlight's on him in the postseason. Super Bowl champ Ryan Clark joining us now from the Pro Bowl in Orlando. And RC, this is my biggest concern for this Eagles defense, because the last time we saw Philly, Zach Ertz lit them up. He had 11 catches in the middle of that field, was wide open, over 100 yards receiving in that NFC title game. When you look at the rematch from Super Bowl 57, What do the Eagles need to do against Travis Kelce to kind of limit those numbers and the damage on offense?
Yeah, well, Kev, you know, they play Zach Ertz so much differently than they do with Travis Kelce in Kansas City. And when you look at a lot of those matchups, Zach was winning on 3rd and 4th down. It was versus Reed Blankenship and man, or working off of Zach Bond to the field when he was playing the hook defender. It's going to be about playing those zone match coverages and scrambling or plastering with Travis Kelce once Patrick Mahomes gets on the move. Zach is a little quicker in and out of his cuts. It's going to be as the down gets long. Are they going to be able to stay with Travis Kelce, make plays on the ground? And to me, the biggest piece of it is get him to the ground once he makes the catch, because we know yards after the catch have been huge for him in his playoffs, especially against the Houston Texans.
Making me feel a little bit better. In Super Bowl 57, Kelce had 6 catches for 81 yards and a touchdown in that victory against the Eagles. Let's go to the flip side now. KC's defense. They've got to deal with Saquon Barkley and that dominant offensive line of the Eagles. What should be the Chiefs' game plan going in?
I think the first thing is they're going to build 5-man fronts. That's walking up backers to the end of the line of scrimmage, so you can try to find a way to invert the line of scrimmage as well. But for me, it's going to be about bringing that edge pressure and taking Saquon Barkley as the give guy and making Jalen Hurts keep it on those zone reads and those RPOs. You can see that the Washington Commanders had that sort of idea coming into the game, but the healthy Jalen Hurts, the way he was able to run the football, and also Dallas Goedert in the RPO game got them off of that later on. And so to me, Kev, it's going to be pick your poison. It's take Saquon Barkley away first and then scrape to get Jalen Hurts. But what happens when he gets the football out of his hand to Dallas Goedert? I think Steve Spagnuolo will have an answer, but Jalen Hurts and that offense will have an option.
Love that you brought up Goedert. He was that little wrinkle that we saw in Kellen Moore's offense for the first time there, with a little pitch there. If you include the playoffs, Barkley needs 30 more rushing yards to surpass Hall of Famer Terrell Davis for the most in a season all time.
He might get it.
Oh, let's hope he does. And a lot more.
Get it.
We'll see you in New Orleans. Enjoy Orlando, RC.
My man.
Well, and Kevin back. The Steelers went into last offseason with questions about their quarterback position, and now they still are searching. They never really got an answer. Justin Fields showed flashes at the start of the season. Then Russell Wilson took over and led the team to the playoffs, but they would lose in that opening round. He recently talked to our Laura Rutledge this weekend in Orlando.
Man, I just I love the Steelers. Obviously, you're wearing Steelers colors today, so I think you're. But I think it's obviously a blessing to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. I mean, just the great tradition, the football, Coach Tomlin, the guys in the locker room. I think we got a chance. We're not far off. We were one of the best teams in football for a long time, and then we just didn't finish the way we needed to against some really good football teams. And obviously the Eagles are in it, the Chiefs are in it, and so just I think that we'll get better as we go, and I think sometimes. There's only one team that wins it, and unfortunately it wasn't us.
NFL writer Jeremy Fowler back with us here. Jeremy, what are you hearing about the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh?
Well, Kevin, the Pittsburgh Steelers are expected to re-sign either Justin Fields or Russell Wilson. Now, I'm told that